Congratulations, honey. I look forward to the next 20 plus years with you, as well as the beginning first 20 plus years. Jacko Jam was awesome. Buddy Bonanza, Kids Kingdom, you name it. We've done it. And we have been very blessed throughout many adventures. I want to thank the Parks and Recreation Commission for allowing us to be who we are. Thank you, and I look forward to the next 20 plus years.
The Oxford Chamber of Commerce is really excited for you, Ron, and we want to congratulate you on your retirement, and we hope that the next 40 years is wonderful for you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ron.
Ron, this has been a great run we've had. 17 years I've been with you, and I can't think of a better place I would have wanted to work, and who the person I wanted to work with was you. We've had a great challenge here, and it's been a lot of fun, and I just thank you for all that.
Yes, thank you, Ron. It's been 9 years this year for me, so I've enjoyed working with you, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity. If it wasn't for that one night out and about, I don't know where I'd be, but I feel that I'm where I need to be, so thank you.
Hey, Ron, Steve Allen here. Congratulations, man. Nobody deserves retirement as much as you. Whoever takes your place will never take your place. You have left a legacy there in Oxford that will never go away. And I just wanted to tell you, I'm so proud to have been part of a lot of that with you. We had some great times together, and we did some great things. Enjoy your retirement. You deserve it.
Hi, Ron. Everybody's so excited for your retirement. However, whoever comes after you has some pretty big shoes to fill. But we all want to thank you for everything that you've done for this community in the last 20 years. And we want to tell you congratulations on your retirement from OCTV.
Thank you for creating a great space to work and a place for generations to come. I've enjoyed the park as well as my children, and it has shaped our community for the better.
Agreed. That's good.
Ron, I want to thank you for going on 17 wonderful years of employment. Never thought I'd be here this long, but you have created such a great environment, a great system, and become such a great necessity to this township. It is a great legacy, and we look forward to carrying it on after you're gone.
I echo what Dan said. If he's 17, I guess I'm 16 and a half, and I'll always remember that Mother's Day that you showed up at the greenhouse and asked me to sit down and discuss a job. So I'm thankful for my 16 and a half years here, and before that, my years taking the programs under your guidance and participating in Parks and Recreation. So thank you again.
Congratulations on your retirement, Ron. Thank you for all your work for the community. We wish you well. From the Village of Oxford. Bye now.
Good luck, Ron. Good luck.
Well, hello, Ron Davis. I wanted to thank you for bringing me onto your team for the Parks and Rec. I've had a great time. However, I'm a little confused. As soon as I started my job, you gave your notice that you were retiring. So I'm hoping this is just a coincidence. But anyhow, I wanted to say congratulations on your retirement, and I'm excited for you to begin your next journey, your next chapter with your family. And don't forget to come and stop by and say hi to us. We're sure going to miss you. Congratulations and happy retirement.
Hi, my name is Madonna Van Fossen, and I used to be the DDA director here in Oxford, Michigan. I am here today because I want to give a message to Ron Davis. Ron, when I got the invitation announcing your retirement, I was really excited for you. I too would like to retire, only I have a few more years. Then when I saw the date, I thought, oh no, I can't come on that date because I knew I had something to do, and when I checked my calendar, it was laundry, so I could not be there. But I continued reading on the invitation and saw that I could leave a message through OCTV. So here I am, leaving you a message. I just want to tell you, I so enjoyed working with you. It was a ton of fun. Your sense of humor is amazing, And it's one of the things I will just cherish about our times together. I also really valued the way you led your department, because the events you put on, the Parks and Recs put on throughout the years when I was here in Oxford, were and continue to be stellar. You had such a great impact on this community, and I'm sure you are going to be missed. So when I was thinking about what did I want to say here at this taping, I was trying to think of something that is most memorable to me. And the thing I came up with, which continues to bring a smile not only to my face, but to Linda Lewis, I'm sure Linda is there at the party with you, was one of the times after the community leaders meeting. Remember, we used to go to the community leaders meeting, and I think it was every week, but I would have to remember, and that's not going to happen during this taping. Anyway, after the community leaders meeting, you and Linda and I were standing around talking about what had transpired during the meeting, and somehow, I can't remember, but somehow it came up that I had gone to St. Fu University in up north Michigan. And when I said that, Linda looked at me and said, wait a minute, I almost went to St. Fu. And you looked at me and said, wait a minute, I did go to St. Fu. We were all like, what? So funny. We laughed and laughed and laughed. And Linda and I still get together, and I hear stories about you, and we still laugh about St. Fu. So I want to wish you so much joy in your retirement. I want to wish you many smiles in the road ahead. And I want to wish Michelle a ton of luck, because can't imagine spending all this time with you. No, it'll be great. You're a great man. You did great things for this community. It was an honor to work with you and a privilege to know you and call you my friend. Thank you. God bless you. That's it.
Hi, Ron and Michelle. Wanted to take a few moments just to say a few things, and most of all, thank you for our friendship and for the opportunity, Ron, that you've given me these last 9 years. So, where do I begin? It's really hard. I've been trying to think about what I wanted to say, and so I'm just going to try to hit some bullet points. But I believe it was back in 1988 or 89 that we crossed paths in Finch Hall in an RPL class, and then out at Main Place. And a lot of great memories and fun times that we had. I really remember the hockey games out in Main Place, and rearranging furniture and taking the furniture and building it so it was like stadium seating, so that everybody could see that hockey game on the TV. And then the Pictionary games that I know you cheated. I know you cheated. We had such great times playing Pictionary, and it was always the girls against the guys, and the girls always lost because the guys cheated. I know you cheated. And then Mayfest. Mayfest was such a huge celebration of our school year, and I've got pictures. This is one of my favorites from Mayfest. You giving me a big hug out in the field, and then of you and Tommy. You look so young. We all look so young, and here we are, almost I think 34 years later, and I've gotten to know Michelle and the girls and Seth, and you've gotten to know my family, and I really value that relationship that we have. After CMU, who would have known that we'd both end up here in Oxford, that our families, we would live here and settle here in Oxford. Was looking at the Leader one afternoon with Tom, and lo and behold, Ron Davis was on the front cover of the Oxford Leader, announced that you were the new Parks and Recreation Director. And from there, we reconnected. Our kids played sports together, and we spent some times after some of our sporting activities at some of our friends' houses, and after parties and euchre parties and graduations, and you and Tom coaching together. It's been a lot of fun over these years, and I greatly appreciate us reconnecting and spending time to get to know each other again. And then one night when we were all out over drinks, I said I was looking for a new job, and I had been talking to Darren at Tool Sport and Sign, and said I was going to be meeting with him tomorrow. And you said, "Oh, hell no." "No, you're not." And I said, "What do you mean, no, I'm not?" And you said, "You're going to come in and see me tomorrow, and we're going to sit down and see if we can work something out." And here, 9 years later, I've been working for you in this department, Parks and Rec department, and I'm very grateful for that. If it wasn't for that opportunity, I wouldn't be doing what I love today, and I truly mean that. And I am very blessed that I could have been a part of you and your family's lives these last 9 years. Thank you, and I wish you the best in retirement. It's going to be tough not having you here and walking out together, but I'm very happy for you, and hope that we can still stay connected in some way, somehow. Whether maybe we meet halfway if we're up at the cottage, or maybe you and Michelle can come to the cottage, or Tom and I can come up to Millersburg. But I do love you both, and thank you for being my friend, being my boss, and being my cheerleader. So thank you, and all the best.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today, here at the Township Hall, to wish congratulations to Ron Davis, our retiring Parks and Rec Director. Thank you for all you've done for our community. You've been a great asset. Enjoy your retirement, Ron.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ron. Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Enjoy
your retirement.
All right, Mr. Harris, time for a history review. Go ahead.
Well, when this park, when Ron took it over, there wasn't much of a park. It had a couple tennis courts and a couple ball fields, and he took this from to something that we couldn't even believe at the time. And he kept working it up. Every year there was something new, you know. And he used to park on my land before he bought it, with the circus he brought to town.
It was a circus, wasn't it? I threw elephant crap over on your cornfield too, and I didn't even know you, but what the heck. Those were the early days.
Fertilizer, right?
Yeah,
Fertilizer.
that's why I looked at it.
So, anyway, it was a real pleasure to be able to turn that land over to the park. It made me feel like made me feel good. So.
Well, give us a rundown on how that all took place.
Yeah, I think I approached you, didn't I, about buying your 14 acres?
Yes. Yeah.
Where is now open space. We use it for lacrosse and soccer practice, and we park cars there. So there's actually 2 lots there, 2 parcels. You own the one, and the Patch Farm, or the Patches, own the other one. So
Yeah.
why don't you just tell them how we got started on the whole real estate deal?
Well, Ron wanted all 14 to start with, and I stopped in and said, well, kind of want to save those 2 5-acre, or split that 5 acres into 2.5 acres. And then Ron, he said, well, what do you think about that, your neighbor next door? And I said, ever since he's moved in, he's always wanted if I did something with that land, he wanted to be involved. So anyway, I told Ron when he mentioned that, I says, I'll be back in an hour. I drove out here and talked to Tom Patch, and he had a big smile on his face. His wife was peeling potatoes, and they were getting to make a move too. So anyway, I think I don't know if it even took an hour to get back to Ron about that, and it worked out well. It was a real pleasure to be able to do something like that for society.
Yeah, we end up buying your 14 acres, the patch is 5 acres, and then it wasn't much longer after that, I decided, well, heck, I'm going to buy the patches outright. So we ended up buying their house.
Oh.
You still had the 5 acres down there on Coach Road. I remember coming over one day, you were out there baling hay all by yourself, and I jumped down there, and I'm like, hey, what the heck? Guy's over there by himself, so I ended up bailing that with you that day. But getting you off them 2.5 acres was a little tough, but we got you, didn't we?
Yeah. Well,
So-
you didn't get me because the time came, it was...
Yeah, well,
It was,
you know, what you did, Roy, for, not for me, but for the department and the future of this community, I mean, you could have got more money than what you asked for after we had it appraised, but you didn't do that. You saw the value of how important the open space was to provide it for kids in the future instead of having homes there. So, you know, God bless you for what you did. You were open-minded and you weren't greedy and you were passionate, and now it's here forever. So that's what I always say, you know, the things I did, it wasn't for me, it's for future generations. It's what we're supposed to do.
We're both on the same.
Yeah, you got to give back, right? Someone provided for us,
Yep.
so we got to provide for somebody else. So I'm just glad that you hung around Jeff and I even after we started talking. You're probably thinking, these two knuckleheads, they're going to take more than they got. So yeah, that gift that you had in your heart for us to buy that, I mean, it's just, we couldn't do Seymour Celebration without it.
Yeah.
We couldn't do soccer, lacrosse.
Yeah.
There's so many things we do out there. I mean, you ask Jeff, it's been a huge benefit to us.
Yeah.
You know, and this started out as a land purchase, and it ended up being a friendship.
Yeah, great
You know,
friendship.
We still hang out together. I go to Roy's all the time.
Oh,
and Roy
Split
comes
Finger
up there.
Harris.
That's right.
Yeah, Split Finger Harris.
Split
Yeah,
Finger Harris. That's
absolutely.
right. So there's more to it than just that. So that's what really came out of it too.
It's been a real pleasure and a lot of fun.
It has, and I've been. All the neighbors here have been great to work with,
yeah.
and you're right at the top of them. So I appreciate it.
And actually, most of the neighbors were glad that we did purchase that, because that way there were no more houses going in behind them.
Right.
In the Coryell sub, they were glad to see us get that property.
Yep.
So it worked out for everybody all the way around.
Always does.
Yep.
Sometimes the big boss upstairs has his plans.
Yes, he does.
He always has his hands in it, doesn't
If
he?
we listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So
These are two of my favorite people.
Thanks, Ron. Welcome to spectacular Seymour Lake Township Park. We're here to retire Ron Davis tonight. I got to tell you an interesting story. On our preparations to come here tonight, my wife and I had one of those discussions. And this is exactly how I heard it, okay? I said, dear, I said, the clothes dryer is shrinking my clothes. And she said, honey, it's a refrigerator. Few introductions before we get into the speakers. Ron's wife, Ron first, obviously. Ron's wife, Michelle. Daughter, Sarah Kohut. Her husband, Ryan. Daughter, Shelby. I saw her in the back, yep. And her fiance, Shane Strusky. All right, it's getting too hard to read these cards. I didn't print big enough. Oxford Township Parks and Rec staff. I recognize Jeff Kyness, Brian Durden, Miles Lawrence, Dan Sullivan, Don Medici, Lauren Smith, Brittany Gates, and Laura DeRocher. Big round of applause putting this on. Thank you. I'd also like to introduce the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Committee. Phil Castoni, Tim Cologne. Wow, Ron, that was bigger than your applause.
Believe it, I don't care.
You know, I made a promise to myself I was not going to be sarcastic, but a leopard ain't going to change his spots. I'm sorry. Okay. And the newly elected chairperson of the commission, Ron Roop. Teresa Myers. And Austin Brantley. I saw him. A few things about Ron that I want to share with you. Ron, obviously an interesting guy. But when it was time to do something, everybody can hear me okay, right? Okay, excellent. When it was time to do something, he had three ways to approach people. And these are in descending order, okay? Sometimes he'd ask for their money, donations. Sometimes he'd ask for their time. Very important. Mostly, he asked for their name. He wanted their endorsement. Ron always knew which to ask for. Ron and I would sit around and debate topics, let's call them, future plans, all kinds of ideas. We used to coordinate activities on the Parks Master Plan. I was the chairperson for Oxford Township Planning Commission for many years. I was in charge of doing the Township Master Plan. So we had a lot of meetings back and forth, and I think you can see the fruits of our labors around Oxford Township, right? Couple items that we used to talk about. Kids Kingdom, right down here. Splash pad, the fireworks. The water drive to Katrina victims, one of my favorite all-time activities we ever did. Annual golf outings, and various other programs and such. The big one we always talked about was called Paying It Forward. We did a lot of volunteer work together, many, many hours. And we used to discuss about, you know, Todd, we're paying it forward. That was in our youth. You know what? More on that topic later, okay? I'll get back to that later. Some of the lesser-known ideas for you guys that Ron and I discussed are these. We wanted to bring water polo back to Oxford with horses. Didn't gain a lot of traction. Pond hockey in July. We thought that was a real winner. My top favorite, which was very recent, was the Senior Citizen Ballet Program. Him and I practiced in his driveway. He tore his Achilles. I had to have my knee replaced. All right. Our next speaker, former township supervisor, 22 years, plus nobody can really remember. Records don't go that far back. Bill Dunn.
Wait, he needs a beer. Oh, I see how you get it done. Someone may be getting a raise.
So,
Let's go to commercial, Bill.
excuse me, Bill. We never liked you anyway.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Go ahead. Now what?
One beer per speaker in the base.
I'd be used
We gotta hurry this along, Bill.
You think I'd be used to doing this, but I'm not. I hate public speaking. But you know, since I've been here, Ron's done a lot of things. You know, Kids Kingdom, Splash Pad, this building, and many other things. And that's not all the story, but so I'm going to touch on the rest of the story, some of it. You know, anybody that has to do with government, or you know, like myself or a manager, whatever, has certain rules that we have to follow when we get projects done. Well, that doesn't always happen because things happen so damn slow, you just want to throw up. You know, to give you an example, you know, you take a project to the council or, in my instance, the board, you know, they would say, well, that's a good idea, let's send it to the engineer. So, okay, so you send it to the engineer, then they come back and they go, well, that's a good idea, let's send it to the attorney. So something that needs an answer within a day or two, it takes 2 months. So in order to combat that, managers have to bend the rules a little bit. We go into gray areas. And I know I can speak to Jack, our present supervisor. If the fire chief was here, he would say the same thing. It just works too slow. One thing Ron had going in his favor was a great board or commission. You know, a lot of the times it was run by Rick over here, Rick Laidler, for many, many years. And one thing he did, and I think was smart, was basically give Ron some reins. And the reason he did it, because he could trust him. That trust, you know, goes a long way. And I'm sure that I even helped him and aided and abetted in some of those things, along with Sergeant or Lieutenant Whitefield. And you know, we always talked about they're going to send the bus for us if they catch us. But it's stuff like that, you know. And one other thing that he saved millions, I'm going to say millions of dollars here for Oxford, the community of Oxford. You know, there was no other beneficiary except the community, and that's his ability to barter. I've never seen anyone that could do it as well as he did. He would put together a project where he'd have this, that, and he would throw in a broken hockey stick, a first round consideration, or a first rounder and future consideration, and he'd get it done. This building here is an example of that. He did this with a little help from the township. He had a certain amount of money, he came in under budget and saved thousands and thousands of dollars, and he did that with every project he did. But again, it was, you know, the commission that allowed him to do what he did best, and that's get things done. You know, on behalf of myself and the community, we wish you nothing but the best, Ron, and we miss you already. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been working it out. Whoop. Our next speaker is our current township supervisor. I served with this gentleman on the Planning Commission for many, many years. I served with him on the Economic Development Subcommittee. He's a General Motors retired employee, long-term. And as much as I tease him, pretty stand-up guy, Jack Curtis. Pretty much. There's been times.
There has. And just like any good politician, I don't have a speech. I just have some notes to jog my memory. I met Ron in about 2000, 2003, somewhere in there. Bill Dunn brings him over to my house. I said, "Who's this guy?" He said, "Well, this is the Parks and Rec director." I said, what you bringing him over here for?" "I grow pine trees." "He's looking for trees." "Oh, thanks, Bill." Nice introduction to Ron Davis. But from then on and off for 22 years, I watched this Parks and Rec grow. I know that our Economic Development Subcommittee bragged about over 500 acres of parks in Oxford Township. They weren't all acquired overnight. They were worked through the 7 years that Ron's been here. I know that my 3 generations of family have enjoyed these parks. Don't go anywhere, David. I'm not done.
I've heard it all before.
Thank you. Three generations of my family have enjoyed this park and watched it grow. We've played soccer, baseball, Kids Kingdom. In fact, they're coming up in July and we'll be sure to be on the splash pad. I'm going to try not to talk about what everybody else has talked about, but there is one word I did learn from Ron: horse trading. I know what horse trading is, but he said to me, "Hey, we got to go get these lights." I said, what do you need those lights for?" He said, "Because I need some sinks." I said, "What do you need the sinks for?" "Because we need some windows." So, okay, I watched this go from this one to this one to this one, and whatever the need was, he saved the money to go and get the final product. It may have taken you a couple turns around the block. In the political arena, I've supported him on some of his bond proposals, the growth acquisitions in the community. He's always done it with fervor. He's busted his hump to try to get everything done for this community. I learned and strengthened myself through some of the things that Ron Davis taught us all. Our community, leave something better behind. He's left a monster behind that is only the greatest foundation that our new commission, or our Parks and Rec director, will, I'm sure, take off. There's one thing I'm going to miss, and this is the final thing. Could you give me, "Hey, JC"?
What's up, JC?
Every day in the township he walked in, he just screamed that out, and it brought a smile to a lot of people's face because, it was true, it was sincere, and it was always there. Congrats, Ron. Thank you for everything you did, and enjoy playing euchre and drinking Jameson. Thank you.
Very nice, Jack. Thank you. This next speaker is a lifetime Oxford resident, Oxford High School graduate. Been teaching our children at Oxford High for 30 years. Also been on the Township Parks and Rec Commission for 16 years. Just elected, I think, Tuesday night as chairperson of the Township Parks and Rec Committee. Ron Root.
So Ron had rules. He was laying this out. He said, "Listen, everybody, speakers, you got about 2 minutes to talk, and that's it." He says, "I'm not here all the time." He goes, "I got some beers to drink. I got some people to talk to. So my responsibility here is just to thank everybody for coming out. This is a great experience." I met Ron Davis his first year here teaching, or first year in the district. His office was Oxford OES. I was on one side of the office, and if you guys remember back then, they were in the back corner We had the locker room in between us and the gym, and it was pretty small. We'd hear the band playing and practice, and they practiced in the locker room up there. But that was Ron's first year there, so I've known Ronnie for quite a bit of time, and he gets a lot of things done here in Oxford community, and it's because of the support of everybody in this room. He comes up with the ideas, and people just jump on. Ronnie means a lot to me and my family. And when you hire Davis, you don't just get Ron Davis, you get all of them. And I think and they have the same passion that their dad has and their mom has. They just jump on, and whatever needs to get done, they just do it. And that's what I'll miss about Ronnie. But it's been great with you, Ronnie. Enjoyed having you around, and sooner or later, you know, I might get to enjoy the fresh air of Millersburg. From what I hear, the air is special up there. Shelby, Sarah told me that. It's a special air up there, so maybe one of these times I'll get invited up to hang out at the Millersburg. Thanks for everything you guys have done, Davis family. All of you guys are special and mean a lot to us here in Oxford. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Our next speaker, currently retired individual, just landed from his way from Florida here to be here for this. 20 years plus as serving on the Parks and Rec Committee.
26, but who's counting?
We don't want to think about age anymore, Ron. Lifelong friend of Ron, Rick Laidler.
I'm short.
Oh, come on.
First of all, I just want to let you know that this is wow. This is great. Ron deserves every bit of it, forever. So my task is to talk about the first time I met Ron. For those of you who have not attended a Park and Rec Commission meeting, there is usually no one in the audience. Ron shows up. Now he's in the audience. I asked Ron if we could help him, and he responded that he heard there was an opening for the new director, who was Mark Bruchot, who was leaving. I had to say to him in a pleasant voice, "We're not going to talk about that tonight." He kept asking questions. I said, "I'm sorry, we're not going to do this tonight. It's not on the agenda. We don't have the, okay, who's going to help me with this word?" And I'm looking. Robert's Rule of Order. You have to follow those. So after that, Ron left, went home, took Michelle, and said, "Michelle," he said, "I can't apply for that job, that the guy that is such a real," and I'll let you put in the verb. It was 2 years before he told me that story, about that story, and lucky, him and us, Michelle convinced him to come and talk to us. So back on September 11th, 1995, the Park and Rec Department hired Ron. That turned out to be the best thing we ever did. Ron had a lot of hard work to head up of him. At the time, Ron was working in Southfield in the Park and Rec Department. And every day, he would drive back and forth in his Dodge Shadow. Can you imagine that big a guy get into a Dodge Shadow? There's no way. So Ron kept calling me like almost every day that first year. And I had to work him through these things he didn't know. Like, what's a budget? He didn't care. We don't need a budget. Said the township board wants one. Ron and I became good friends because we both like golf. We joined the Monday Night League over at Oxford Hills. The league was made up of some very good golfers, and some of them are here tonight. Ron's dad, Ray, used to ride around in the cart with us and watch us play. Now, Ray was a scratch golfer. He was excellent. So he would ride along and give you a tip now and then or some advice to Ron that Ron wouldn't pay attention to. So we're on number 14 in Oxford Hills, and it's straight up the hill. It's a par 5, and it's over the hill. You got to really smoke when you get up there. So Ray said to him, "What have you got there for an iron?" He said, "Oh, I got my 5-iron." Ray looked at him, shook his head, said, "You can't get there with a 5-iron. You better take a 4-iron." Well, Ron stood up and took a mighty swing at that golf ball. And all you could see is going straight up the hill towards the green. And then you can't see it. You got to drive up and see where it ended up. Sure enough, it was short. Ray looked at him with a smile and said, "Told you so." So in golf, you have to keep your head down in order to hit a good shot. Well, we were always raising our heads, making bad shots. So now we came up with a song, "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley." In the 16 years that I worked with Ron, it was a pleasure to watch him grow into the man he is today. I appreciate all the work you've done, and just like to wish you and Michelle and everybody in Davis family a happy retirement. Thank you.
Our next speaker was a former director at Howell Parks and Rec. And bear with me. These are some credentials here, okay? Former director, Independence Township Parks and Rec. Former director, Canton Leisure Services. Executive director of Michigan Parks and Rec Association. And the MPRA Prez of 1989 and 1999. 2021 MPRA Association Hall of Fame inductee. Former employer of Ron's, so we should get some good stories out of this. I welcome Ann Conklin.
Thanks. I'm even shorter, Rick. And Ron, I didn't get the 2-minute title, so it's going to be long. It's going to be longer than 2 minutes. And Ron always tells me to speak from my heart. I'm going to speak from my heart, but I do have to have some notes because there are a lot of stories. I think of all of the speakers so far, I've known Ron the longest. And it really has been a gift to know him for the 30 years that I have, but it has been quite an adventure. I first met Ron early in my career in Independence Township through his dad, Ray. He was the coach of their softball team. They were in a tournament, and they were trying to use an illegal player. Tournament officials had ruled against the team. I happened to be watching, and Mr. Davis approached me because I was the new Parks and Recreation Director, and I needed to work with the team. I had to convince the tournament officials that it was okay to have that illegal player play, and it would be good for everyone because it would make them a better team. I didn't listen to him. But I learned where Ron got his negotiating skills, which have served him well throughout his career. And Ron also learned early on I wasn't a pushover. Ron and I worked together in Independence for a few years. First, he was a CMU intern, and then when he finally passed his algebra class and got his degree, he became a full-time employee. Yep, I hired him for his first full-time job in Parks and Recreation. So you can either thank me or forgive me. Ron had a couple buddies in the department, and it was always the amigos versus me. and it wasn't always pretty. The young guns taking on the boss. It was their challenge, and they took it very seriously every day. And let's just say, on most days, I was up for the challenge. Every day was an adventure. We laughed a lot. There were many teaching opportunities. Ron will still tell you that the words he heard most from Independence Township were, "Ron, come to my office." He was green behind the ears, but he was also very eager to learn. The passion that he has for Oxford today is that same passion that he had for Clarkston, which was his hometown. It's where he grew up. And just like you have experienced here for the last 27 years, Ron put his heart and soul into everything he did in Clarkston. And back then, it was cleaning sports equipment, it was sorting, doing inventory, but he tried to do it right all the time, and he was committed to whatever the project was. After a few years, he did move on to Southfield, where he quickly learned the big city wasn't for him, but that stop brought him here. I'll never forget his first day on the job, which was September 11th, and he called me a little bit in a panic, questioning, what do I do now? He started on September 11th, which is 911, and I told him I'd always be his 911 call. We shared a lot of calls along the way, but we all know Ron absolutely knew what he was doing. As you've heard throughout the night, Ron is ingrained in the Oxford community. He is a legend, a part of the fabric of Oxford. And he's done the same thing in the Parks and Recreation profession. Everyone, and I mean everyone in Parks and Recreation across the state, knows Ron Davis. Many of us are here tonight to celebrate him, to celebrate the big dog, Clifford, the big red dog, and his amazing career, and to thank him for all he's done. Ron's been an extraordinary leader in our profession, serving in many leadership positions, including president of our state association. And for many years, he served as the president of our professional foundation, which is a philanthropic organization. At the foundation, he created a fund in memory of his family. The Davis Family Memorial Fund has invested tens of thousands of dollars supporting college students majoring in Parks and Recreation, and in honor of his dad, who suffered with many disability challenges throughout his life, funded many projects around the state that provided recreation opportunities for people with disabilities. He and his family have worked tirelessly to raise the funds to unselfishly help others to give them recreation experiences in the great outdoors. Ron has received many awards throughout his career: Young Professional, CMU Distinguished Alumni, the Fellowship Award, and the Grand Award. And this is a true fact. Ron is the only person of the thousands and thousands of people in our profession to receive both the Fellowship Award for his professionalism and giving the most to the profession, and the Grand Award, which recognizes both his professional commitment and his philanthropic contributions. He's the only person that has received both of them. And this is all from a guy who had to be convinced, pushed, and cajoled into getting involved in the professional association. From a guy who barely made the cut to get into CMU, and then was contracted by that same university to teach a master's level class in grant writing. Ron has never met a stranger. He walks into the room, and with his humor, his honesty, and his authenticity, he touches everyone's heart. His kindness is his trademark, his commitment and his passion, his legacy. Ron is a respected professional, but more importantly, a decent and wonderful human, a man of integrity, a man whose faith guides him every step of the way, a man who is devoted to his community, and a man who loves his family with his heart and soul, and we all know it. Many of you have mentioned tonight everything that Ron has done for the Oxford community. Take a look around this park and you can see and feel the impact Ron's had in Oxford. But just as Ron has embraced the Oxford community and the Parks and Recreation Department staff have embraced Ron and his family. In their darkest moment, all of you surrounded them and filled them with your love. You gave them the strength they needed to face unimaginable loss. Ron, Michelle, Sarah, and Shelby have been a tower of strength with love and faith, which truly honors Seth. As bittersweet as this moment is, Ron and Michelle are excited about their next chapter in the metropolis of Millersburg. They will undoubtedly embrace that community just as they have their other stops along the way, except for maybe Southfield. I'm lucky to have been a small part of Ron's career, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in Millersburg. I'm sure it won't be long before Ron has found somebody who will donate some land to convert it into a premier park in northern Michigan using borrowed equipment and bartering deals with contractors to get the work complete. Ron, thanks for including me on this journey. The twists and turns, the happy times and the sad times we've shared have been quite the ride. Thank you for the contributions and the leadership you've given in the Parks and Recreation profession, and thank you for your unwavering friendship. We are all better people because of you, and we're proud of you. May your retirement be filled with good health and with all the people that you love. God bless you, buddy.
Thanks, Ann. I have to go back on my cards, but they're out of order. I don't know which one I'm looking for. I forgot a person. On staff, Jeff Hart. Give him a round of applause. So, where is he? I thought he was over there.
Where's Jeff? He quit, thanks.
He go, sorry.
You can take his job.
Just saving the taxpayers' money, Ron. We also have tonight, the staff would like to do a presentation to Ron. Can we get you another beer, Ron?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Ron, can you come over here, please, for a minute?
Is Jeff somewhere, Jeff Hart? Jeff?
Did Jeff get out of here? Yeah.
Oh, you're taking pictures. I better put the Busch Latte down. All we need is a taxpayer seeing that.
There's no taxpayers in here.
I have been listening for another 10 years.
I have no idea. I understand it. Is Jeff Har, are you back there? His daughter's playing at the South Softball game tonight. So I just wanted to say thanks to Ron for all the wonderful years that he's provided us, mentorship, guiding, and employment. We know you're going to have a little bit of downtime. So on behalf of the staff, we've went ahead and got you something that I think can occupy some of your time. And so that's basically a 4-bottle liquor tap. So we do have the bottles for you in the back.
Where's my Norrisburg friend?
But you can put. So next time you can go hang that in the barn, the man cave, wherever you would like to hang it.
Mouthwash.
And like I said, we do have some bottles for you to go along with this. We just didn't put them out tonight, but
God bless you guys.
so you can tag 4 of those and then pour the little shots as you wish as you go. So
Hey, we can get into her tonight.
we could very well.
What are they gonna do? Kick us
So,
out?
just on behalf of the staff, we do appreciate everything that you've done for all of us, and we wish you the best in retirement. And I'm sure we'll see you from time to time when you grace us with your presence down here in the lower 48 of that. So with that, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, guys.
And hopefully you get a lot of good use and enjoyment out of your tap.
That's going right in the kitchen.
Towel.
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 Oh, where's the beer?
And you drink it. Here, right here. Right here. I don't drink.
It's my Gatorade.
What John Deere is that?
It's the combine.
Oh, I love the combines. Our next presentation is for the entire Oxford Township Parks and Rec Commission. He's been on the staff for a long time. I introduced him earlier. He was on the commission for a long time. He was actually the chairperson for years. He is your new Director of Oxford Township Parks and Rec, Phil Castoni.
Ron, why don't you come back up here real quick?
You might as well stay.
We have another momentum for your wall, a little different than the tap, but on this plaque, it says, Ron Davis has a passion and a talent for bringing people together. For 27 years, he did this as the director of Oxford Township Parks and Recreation Department. Every day, Ron found new, exciting, and creative ways to strengthen the bonds within our community by giving people places, programs, and events that allow them to play together, laugh together, and get to know each other better. The pinnacle of his achievements is the Seymour Celebration, established in 2009. Every summer, this signature event draws thousands of residents and visitors to Seymour Lake Township Park to enjoy old-fashioned carnival rides and games, gaze at colorful fireworks that light up the night sky, and create wonderful memories that will last a lifetime. Like everything else in the Parks and Recreation Department since Ron came to Oxford in 1995, the Seymour Celebration exists because of his vision, imagination, drive, energy, infectious enthusiasm, cooperative spirit, and sincere desire to enhance the lives and experiences of others. Oxford is a better place because of Ron Davis. Thank you for everything, sir. Oxford loves you.
How do you top this, though?
I was thinking that.
How do you top? We should have went first.
I'll put this just above that. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Blake. Thanks, Bill.
It's not a tap, but hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Why don't you stay right here?
All right.
Just for a minute, all right?
Yeah.
Come on, close the eyes. You're ready. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Just stay right here. All right, our next presentation is by Laura Murphy, Oakland County Field Rep for Congresswoman Elizabeth Slotkin's office. Laura?
Thank you for coming. Oh, this is all done with smoke and mirrors.
The Congresswoman is just proud to present to you a congressional record statement, which is read into the congressional record forever and always. And I would be happy to read this. I need my glasses. House of Representatives honoring Ronald Davis. The Honorable Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan in the House of Representatives, June 15, 2022. Madam Speaker, today I rise to honor Ronald Davis for nearly 3 decades of dedicated service to the Oxford Township community as Director of the Parks and Recreation Department. When Mr. Davis first hired into the position in 1995, the township had just 2 parks and only 1 other full-time employee. Over the course of his long and fruitful career, Mr. Davis has overseen tremendous growth and expanded recreation opportunities while simultaneously maintaining the beloved character of the community. Under Mr. Davis's direction, Oxford Township has steadily acquired additional park space, now tapping out at 500 acres and several lakes. In 2009, Mr. Davis also spearheaded the creation of what has become the township's largest annual event, the Seymour Celebration. Thanks to Mr. Davis, this event, initially intended to be a one-time celebration to open a new splash pad, has grown year by year and is now considered a signature event for the township. Through all this growth, Mr. Davis has built his bench in the Parks and Recreation Department, training his staff and sharing his expertise in preparation for the many challenges and opportunities associated with public service in this capacity. He has been a mentor and leader to so many, even being awarded the Fellowship Award from the State Parks and Recreation Association for consistently demonstrating significant investment, support, and guidance to fellow professionals across Michigan. Both his dedication and his leadership were never more evident than during the COVID-19 pandemic, when families needed to get outdoors to be entertained and educated and part of a team or a group. Mr. Davis and his staff answered the call and were ready and able to provide the safe, enjoyable programming options the community so needed during that challenging time. Whatever the situation, Mr. Davis has risen to turn it into an opportunity to expand what recreation means to this community. Thanks to his 27 years of dedicated service, Oxford Township is a place where people can come together, enjoy enrichment programs, youth and adult athletics, senior activities, summer camps, picnics in the park, lazy days at the lakes, and so much more. Much like the beautiful plants and flowers he has cultivated throughout the community, Oxford Township has blossomed under his steady hand, and it is my distinct pleasure to recognize his service on the floor of the People's House so that his good works may be known to all. And I think that will go nicely next to
That'll be perfect. And when I can't read it, I'll stop.
That'd be a first if you stop.
I don't know what else to say. I give you Ron Davis.
Thank you. Man, I don't know what to say. I will say this: you all know I have a strong faith, and if it wasn't for my Lord, through my darkest days, I wouldn't be here. So I thank Him because I got to stay here 27 years when I was being torn the other way. So I thank my Lord for keeping me here, and I'm a firm believer He put me here 27 years ago for a reason, to meet all of you. I don't know why, but He did. There's three people I got to thank right out of the gate. I got to thank Rick Laidler, and where's John Duvall? Is Johnny in here? Those two knuckleheads took a chance on a young kid out of Southfield in 1995 in Rick's office. I remember being called there, and they slid a piece of paper across the desk, and I didn't even look at the dollar value. I just was so excited to finally be a director at 31. And I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. But I was so excited to know that someone took a chance on me for all my hard work. And then the other person is Rick Laidler. He's right. I mean, I went to that commission meeting, and I'm like, Michelle, I can't work for that SOB. That guy is a tool. And she convinced me to apply, knowing I probably didn't have a chance in heck to get it because I was going to get, the Parks and Rec field's pretty small, so you know who you're going against. And I didn't think I had a chance in heck. But God bless Mary Jean. She interviewed, she welcomed me in. I got my foot in the door, and the rest was history. And then the last speaker today, Annie Conklin. Annie, I can't thank you enough. I mean, it was like an ugly marriage. It was. She'd call me, can I see you in my office? And I'd say, if the lights are on, pretty good, get in here. It's honestly, in life, you don't realize what you have until it's gone. And it wasn't until I left Ann Conklin that I learned so much from her. And I brought that here and applied it. And there's a couple other people I want to acknowledge tonight. My dear friend Ron Olson from the DNR. My buddy from CMU, the chair, Dean Wallen, drove all the way down there, and the professor, Lori Irwin, they drove all the way down here from CMU to show their support to a fellow student. God bless you. I love you guys.
It only took them 8.5 years to graduate.
Yes.
I guarantee you, Sarah was quicker than us.
Sarah, yeah. True story. Sarah was in class about her last year. I'm like, Sarah, tell them who you are. It's going to help. She finally told Dean Pybus, and he's like, you're Ron Davis's kid. You should have told me earlier. I said, Sarah, I told you. Not that I had any clout there. They just wanted more money. So anyways, I got to thank my brother and my sister here tonight. It means a lot to me. My niece, my cousins, my nephews, my aunts, uncles. It means the world to me. My staff, you guys are always be staff 17 to me. It's something that only they know, and I know. But 17 is a magic number for me now. So when the days get rough, just remember 17. It just takes one person to get the ball rolling, and you can do it. To my commission, I thank you for everything you've done for my family and I for 27 years. We were so blessed. You gave us everything and more than we deserved, but it was truly a blessing. To my family, where do I start? My beautiful wife, Michelle, of 30 years. 30. My daughter, Sarah, my daughter, Shelby, and then we all know Seth isn't with us tonight, but I know he's here with me. My son-in-law, Ryan, and my future son-in-law, Shane. It means the world to me that you guys are here tonight. Many of the, and I'm sorry to get long-winded, but many of the things that happen here at this park are direct results of my family. And when I started here, Michelle's like, okay, I'm tired of going to Lake Orion, getting on the womanize, build me a playground, I hate slivers. So that's how Kids Kingdom came. Sled hills, programs, everything was pretty much a result of my family. And I'm just so happy to have shared it with your guys' families. So 2 quick stories, and then I'll try to wrap it up. But I remember starting here in 95, and the interim director said, let's go out to the maintenance garage and I'll introduce you to your department. Now keep in mind, I came from Southfield where they had a staff of 14 full-time. Cedar was about 50, and every piece of equipment you can think of. So I come down this park road. None of these buildings are here. And I see Bud Hansen and Nick Nera pushing down the driveway a 1961 Cushman trike. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they're throwing it out. I said, Bud, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to get our buggy started. I'm like, oh, dear God. Are you serious? I said, you got any other equipment? Yeah, we got a 72 Ford tractor in the garage. It runs good. So I remember they didn't have running water out here when I started. I asked them where the bathroom was. You have to go out to the youth complex. There's a porta-john out there. So we have made some major strides. And then I remember Mr. Later, I think it was the first year, he said, oh, by the way, the Chamber of Commerce has contracted with the circus. They're coming into town this week. And I said, okay, what do I got to do? He's like, well, you don't have to do much. Just be there and then clean up afterwards. I said, okay. So they left on Sunday, I think it was. If anybody could come within 100 pounds of how much crap an elephant can crap, or a camel, I'm like, oh, dear God. Are you kidding me? This is what I signed up for? Well, at which time I didn't know Mr. Roy Harris, who owned the cornfield, so Roy doesn't know, but I put it over there. It was the best yield you ever had that year. So it has been a blessing, folks. 27 years. 27 years. I've been blessed. I've been put into a job that I loved coming to every day with a staff I loved. Whether or not they love me, that doesn't matter, because I laid my head on my pillow every night and I knew I did the best I could for this community. I gave it everything I had. And when the day came, I told Michelle, I said, you know what, I just don't have it. I don't know if it was losing Seth or COVID or whatever, but I just didn't have it. And I didn't want to be known for that guy that stayed on the taxpayer's dollar just to suck off you. It wasn't me. It was time for me to leave, and that's what I did. But I will say this, I want you all to think, tonight is about you guys, it ain't about me. Think about what you did in 27 years. You built a playground. It was the largest in the state of Michigan at the time. Didn't spend one tax dollar on it. You built a splash pad that was recognized as the international outdoor aquatic facility in the world. You built ball fields, you built soccer fields, you built this building, you did electrical, you did plumbing, you did septic, you did asphalt, you put in basketball courts, you built sled hills, you built soccer fields, you put in miles and miles of boardwalks, you put in 36 holes of disc golf, concrete pads, you built boat launches, you built observation decks, you built a community garden. You bought some of the most creative programs ever. I mean, when you close down North Oxford Road to roll pumpkins down it, who in the hell comes up with these ideas? You had a corn maze for 7 days out of Mr. Naw's property. It raised $4, but we had a great time putting it in. We played golf in the dark. We did a lot of things. But you guys did it. I didn't do it. I was the seed. It just needed to be planted, and you guys watered that seed. So what I tell you is, you did it because you had a passion for this community. You had a passion for your family. You had a passion for your kids. Ron was just along for the ride. That's all I was. I was just here for the ride, and I'm so grateful that you brought me along. And I ask, when Phil takes over, do the same thing. Don't say, that ain't how Ron did it. Because guess what? I didn't do it the way Mark did it. And look what happened. So just think what Phil and this team, they work so hard every day, is going to bring to you. I challenge you to challenge them the same way you did me. But please don't ever compare Phil or any of my staff. I got 10 days left to say you're my staff. Don't ever compare me to them, because I'm not them. That's all I can say. And God, I tell you what, you've made it a beautiful life for me. I will cherish not only this night, but the 27 years I've been so blessed to work for you every day as best I could. So God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Yes. So she wanted me to remind you that there's food, hors d'oeuvres, drinks, meander around. So in closing, I talked about paying it forward earlier, and I want to get back to that. Ron and I, when we always used to do things, he'd say, we're paying it forward, Todd, we're paying it forward. Last few years, him and I are saying, when do I get my money? You guys just paid him back. That's paying it forward. All right, last item. After we close here and we start mingling around, start telling tall tales, I want you to remember this. Good friends know all your stories. Best friends help you write them. Thank you.
Cornhole. You got to recreate.
Thank you.